I hope that through the work I do, I'm helping women in particular see themselves as their loved ones see them. I think this work is important because of the impact it can have on a woman. My biggest desire for the women who come to me is for them to feel like they were honored, for them to feel empowered and beautiful and strong and gritty, right? Resilient. The women I meet, there's just such strength and resilience and grace, and I think a lot of women don't feel that way about themselves, and I hope when they come to me, they're reminded of just how fucking amazing they are. Photography has been a love of mine since I was a little girl. My pop always had a camera and instilled in me a love of photography, but also capturing those little moments that are otherwise lost. So when the kids were pretty young, I decided to start a general portraiture business. But in 2012, it was the first time that I'd been hired to photograph just one woman. And I loved it. And she was so empowered by the experience, and as was I. And that's when I made the shift. And it was at the same time that I was starting to understand that a seed had been planted so many years earlier when my mom passed away. When she passed, we didn't have a photo of her that she loved for the obituary. She tended to avoid the camera. She was self-conscious, I think, and didn't see her own beauty the way we saw it. And so I think I'm hugely inspired by my mom, both who she was as a person, how she treated people, but also her loss and what I know that means to me. So that's a driving inspiration for me, honoring women the way I would have wished I could have done for her. It's the very beginning. It has not been one genre that I fell in love with. It was working with women that I fell in love with. My desire to honor whatever genre is powerful for her in that moment is where I'm at. And I don't find any one of those genres any more meaningful than the other, because at the end of the day, it's all about the woman and her feeling empowered and celebrated, whatever that looks like. Peter Lindbergh and Yusuf Karsh are definitely huge inspirations for my work. Example of Yusuf Karsh, he met everybody with the same level of respect and dignity, and he saw each human being as a human being. And for Peter Lindbergh, he didn't need for you to be without wrinkles or, right? He really wanted you to just be yourself, and he photographed that, and the end result was always beautiful. And I think that there's a huge lesson in that for all of us. My style, honoring a more simple composition. I like the quiet in photographs. I really love when we can strip away all the sort of outside stuff and just let the woman shine. All those decisions that kind of go into making a portrait, a professional portrait, when everything comes together and you can really marry the art and the science while still connecting with the woman one-on-one, I can't imagine doing anything else. It feels like my heart's work. I do think that there are ripple effects from women having an experience where they feel celebrated for exactly who they are. That empowerment, I don't know of much else outside of portraiture that can do that in the same way. For sure, 90% of the women that have come to me have never had a professional portrait taken. I really, really value the trust that women put in me, because I know that it's a vulnerable thing to come and get your photo taken. A portrait, it's so powerful. If it's done right, if you capture that one moment, it's a truth, right, of the person. I don't ever want for women to feel like they need to be anything other than exactly who they are when they come here. When I feel like I nailed it is when the woman looks at it and sees herself and loves herself. I'm Lori Maloney, and every woman deserves a portrait she loves.